Welcome to another episode of Throne Mastermind Sessions. The session is beginning. All members are now expected to assume position on their throne.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Throne Mastermind Sessions. This is Eli Markus. I'm so happy to be able to share this transmission with you all. On the last broadcast, I talked about field of reality, and this broadcast is going to be called Speaking at the Highest Point of Conclusion, which is really, it goes with my previous broadcast about field of reality. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely watch and listen to my broadcast called Field of Reality. So today we're going to talk about speaking at the highest point of conclusion. But first, I'm going to do a short summary on field of reality so this can make sense to you and so you can comprehend what I'm teaching. So when we talked about field of reality, we gave the illustration of there being 10 different fields of reality that people are in. And one is the lowest, it's the most misaligned reality. And 10 is the highest and most aligned reality with their soul path. So if I were to ask you, how does your reality feel to you right now? How has your reality been feeling to you lately on a scale of 1 to 10? You're going to assess that based on how aligned your reality feels to you. You're going to assess that based on how in order, how organized, and how much your needs are being met in the reality that you're in. You're going to assess that based on the people, places, and things in your experience, the quality of your experience with those people, places, and things in your current reality. So if you're living a very misaligned reality, perhaps you're in relationships, you're in a professional field, your career, the quality of your life feels very misaligned. It just feels fragmented. It feels broken. It feels like there's a disconnect. You don't feel like your needs, your emotional, spiritual, mental needs are being met. That's what you're going to be at a 1. If it's slightly better, perhaps you'll be at a 2 or 3. If you're in your most aligned reality where everything feels like it's exactly what it's supposed to be, your needs feel like they're being met, you feel well loved, you feel well cared for, you feel like you're in your executive function in your consciousness where you're able to maneuver and function and navigate society and reality in a way that is fulfilling to you and fulfilling to the people, places, and things around you. And you feel like you're fulfilling your vision, your dream. You feel like you're living it every day. Your emotional state is generally happy or healthy, at least, and you feel like you're in a productive, constructive way of existing, and your quality of life is very high. So if I were to ask you to score your current field of reality, you would give me a number based on the alignment of how your reality feels to you. Now, as you can obviously see, I speak a different language than many other creators online on these different platforms, because I'm not solely speaking or assessing the quality of your life based on material possessions or based on the financial status. That literally means nothing to me when I speak. It means nothing to me. I'm unimpressed. Because even though those things are tools and they can help you live a quality of existence, they're not even 90% of what it requires for you to live your most aligned reality. It's going to be a lot of internal work that you have to do to live your most aligned reality, and a lot of self-awareness and self-knowledge to live your most aligned reality, to be in the best possible relationship that you can be in, to have the best possible friendships, community, and associations, and to be doing the best possible work that is perfect for your soul path and perfect for your unique makeup and skill sets and gifts. That's going to require internal work. External possessions and financial stuff, those are just tools. That can't even do 90% of what it requires for you to have the most aligned reality. So I'm totally unimpressed with that. And it's important that I say that because right now we're living in a culture where that's pushed as the end all be all that matters is how much money you're making, and if you know how to make money, and how what you driving, what are you living, what does your house look like, what are you wearing. And it means nothing if you're not happy, and if you in your consciousness is not a peaceful place where you are at your executive function and where you have genuine self-worth, and you're able to exist in this world in a way that is comfortable for your spirit and your soul, and for your mind and your heart. And your heart, that's another thing. The more aligned your reality is, the lighter your heart feels. That's another way for you to tell, because many of you, if I were to ask you to score your field of reality, you wouldn't even know how to score it. You're like, Eli, I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to give a score to my field of reality on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how desirable my reality is, because it can look desirable, but you're like, oh, Eli, but on the inside, I feel this way. So I don't know how to score it. A quick way to assess the quality of your reality is based on the weight of your heart. How does your heart feel to you? Is your heart light as a feather, or is it heavy and burdened and uncomfortable because you have all these unresolved conflicts, all these internal issues, dealing with all of these conscious and unconscious wounds, and you're trapped in all of these different wound cycles. So even if you've accomplished the material aspects of life, you have these possessions, you have the money in the bank, your heart is heavy because you're dealing with worthiness issues, or you're in all sorts of wound cycles, or you have turmoil going on in your relationships or in your business practices, or whatever. There's a million things. I don't have to go down the list. But a quick way to assess the quality of your reality and of your existence is genuinely weighing your heart. Does your heart to you feel like it is light as a feather, or does it feel burdened and heavy to you on the inside? So how do you get out of this? Because today we're going to talk about speaking at the highest point of conclusion. And I'm going to lead with this question, which is a question I ask many of my students, especially students who book me for a one-on-one session, and students that I have Throne Mastermind sessions with. What do you want is the question. I always ask people that question. What do you want? And believe it or not, people will give you an answer to what they want, and that's still not the real answer. Because whatever answer they give me, oftentimes I have to help them peel back the layers of their answer, because they're answering the question based on preconceived limitations that their mind and belief systems that their mind actually holds as the template. It's like someone being hungry, and what they want is a meal to fill up their appetite because they're hungry. But their belief system is they have to go hunt for their own food. Like literally, they have to go hunt for their own food in a wilderness where there's not a lot of livestock there. There's not a lot to hunt for. So if I ask them, what do you want? They may say they want a weapon. They want a new gun. They want a new spear, depending on what timeline. And I'm saying this for illustration purposes. Depending on what timeline their belief system is operating on, what template they're holding in their mind. I want a spear, and I want to go hunt for food. Instead of saying, I'm hungry and I want a meal. That's important. And it may sound like cliche or whatever, but it is important that you can get to the point of constructing the words and saying exactly what you want in its most full form state of existence. Because if you tell me you want a spear and I give you a spear, and you go out hunting in a wilderness that is low on livestock, so you still have to find food in this massive wilderness. And if you get lucky, maybe you find something small to eat with your spear, But then you have to keep going back out there and doing the same thing over and over again. When you could summon yourself to the template, into the reality that is evolved beyond that having to do all of those different steps just to get a meal. You could construct a sentence and say, what is the blueprint for me to just have a ready-made meal and I don't have to do all these extra steps? I don't have to do all these other things. What is the blueprint of the field of reality that has already resolved the hunting process, the cleaning process, the abundance of livestock process, and that has created a plate of food with different food items on it to feed me a well-balanced, nutritious meal? I want access to that reality, and I want a meal. I want a plate of food and to fill up my appetite. I say that for illustration purposes because we're going to apply this to the complexities of your life and what you want. And I say this to illustrate that many people, when you ask them what they want, they're basing it on a template in their mind of what they believe is possible and the limitations that they believe is that are already set in their mind. So when they answer the question of what they want, they give an answer based on that instead of speaking at the highest point of conclusion, instead of summoning the most full form of what they want in its fullest, in its most full form state. What do you want? Now let's talk about speaking at the highest point of conclusion, because the number one reason why people don't get what they want, one, they have an outdated template in their mind. They're speaking the wrong language, and that wrong language keeps them tethered to a field of reality, to a concept of reality that is in misalignment, that is in drought, that makes it difficult for them to experience what they want at a high quality state. They only get a little drip, a little drop of what they want, and they work 100 times harder than they have to just get that little drip and that little drop. It's like a person who had a traumatizing relationship with their parents and a traumatizing childhood. They have that template in their mind. So when they get older and they get into relationships and they get married, they marry an unavailable person or an abusive person. And they stay in that union for a little drip and a little drop of love that they might get every now and again when their abuser is having a good day. And I don't want to get, talk in that context too long because I don't teach victimhood either. I think you're responsible for the dynamics you consent to. But you need to understand the unconscious things that's happening in your mind that makes you think that you have to consent to certain realities and certain things that are not really feeding you, that are not fulfilling you. But that's the example. If someone had a very abusive relationship with their father or mother, they're more likely to want the bare minimum when it's their turn to get into a relationship or get married. Because in their world, that's something. If their mother only told them that they love them a handful of times, that may be all they want. It's a partner to tell them that they love them a lot, even if they get abused along with that love or that statement saying, hey, I love you though. I know I just did this horrible thing to you or whatever, but I love you. And they stay for those words because that's the template in their mind. What do you want? And whatever your first mind tells you want, I need you to tell yourself that's not the full form state of what I want. That's not the highest point of conclusion of what I actually want, what I really want at the core. Unpack the layers of what you want, because many of you you're doing dummy missions. You don't even know it. You think you're being smart, but you're engaged in dummy missions. You engage in rat races. You engage in mentally exhausting bullshit, emotionally exhausting games and play. spiritually exhausting gymnastics to get a little bit of drip and a little bit of drop of what you actually want at the core. But if you knew how to speak at the highest point of conclusion, then you could summon the blueprint of receiving what you actually want in abundance and at its highest quality. Can a brother get an amen? Can a brother get an amen? I'm teaching right now. If you knew how to speak at the highest point of conclusion, when the question is asked, what do you want? Even if you're just asking yourself this question, your response would be at the highest point of conclusion. Your response will be words that states the highest quality of what you want in its highest degree of abundance. You wouldn't ask for the spear to go hunt for some food. You would say, I would like a plate of food. I want a meal. That's what I want. And by you simply stating that, it attracts an answer, it attracts a response, it attracts a course of action to your field. It attracts it to you. Because your answer begs another question. Well, what does that exist? Is there a concept out there where you can get what you want at that level, just like you said it? Because if all you ask is for a spear, it begs the question, okay, let's get you a spear. But if you're asking for consistent 4-course meals on a daily basis, okay, it begs the question, where does that exist? Where in this world, where or what timeline do you need to be matched to? What field of reality do you need to be matched to receive the words listed in your statement? And it allows you to access that desired outcome. Because if all you ask for a spear, you're gonna be going hungry every few weeks, every few days. You're gonna go hungry because you didn't find food. You didn't hunt food that day. You're spending all your time, in fact, hunting food instead of living life. Instead of allowing your mind to evolve to a state, because if you have consistent supply of food, then you can spend your time really tapping into your personal expression and your personal genius. Now you can get creative. Now you can master other aspects of your humanity, more evolved realms of your humanity. Now you have time to read, to write. Now you have time to create at a mastered level. Now you have time to develop your spirituality. Now you have time to develop your communication and your command over your reality. Now you have time to look at your neighbor and to even assist them with their needs. Now you have time to contribute to your community in a greater way, because you're not spending all your time in the damn jungle hunting for food on a daily basis for hours, and oftentimes coming back hungry because you didn't get anything that day. And that's the only thing on your mind. I want this. I want that. See, a lot of you got that same mentality. If I ask you what you want, many of you say, I want wealth. I want to make 6-7 figures, and I want to get. You talk in that language. That's how I know you don't know what you want. You're lost because you're not stating the thing. You're not saying the real thing. What you're saying is step 1 to your dummy mission of 1,000 steps. When I ask you what you want, you're stating step 1, steps 2, and step 3 of what you think it is required to get the core of what you want at the end of those 1,000 steps that you believe you have to take, instead of saying the thing of the destination of what you actually want in its most fullest form state. If you want stability, then say that. If you want relationships where you feel safe and secured and where you can be yourself, and you want people around you who are in alignment with who you are, with who you truly are and what you really want to be on this planet doing, who complement your skill sets and your gifts, to do that and to develop on the foundation of that, then say that. If you want peace of mind, then say that. Don't say the 1,000 things you think you got to say in order to achieve peace of mind. Well, I want 6-7 strings of income, and then I want to make at least 7 figures in 3 years, and then after that I want to get in some real estate, and then I want to shut the fuck up. Shut up. Get to the point. Speak at the highest point of conclusion. Okay, Eli. Okay, Eli, you got me. I want a family that loves me. I want peace of mind. I want to be challenged to be better, but I don't want to be broken and exhausted beyond my capacity to be at a healthy state of existence. I want a high quality of life. I want people around me, who see my gifts, and who appreciate me, who's not looking to extract or stifle my energy or extract something out of me. I want people around me who care about me and who don't just need me. There you go. Much better. You're getting better. That's what's going to increase the quality of your existence. Speaking at the highest point of conclusion. When you know how to speak at the highest point of conclusion, you look at your world differently. You talk to people differently in your field of reality. Because when you have a fragmented mind where you speak in broken language and you say things at a very low vibrational state, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So even when you're talking to people, even when you're talking to people in your field of reality, you're speaking at a low vibrational fragmented state. You're not speaking at the highest point of conclusion. You're not speaking in blocks. You're not saying the thing. So if you don't even know how to communicate for real, if you don't even know how to say the desires of your heart, then you damn sure can't create it with the opportunities, the people, and the tools in your reality. You're going to be doing it the same way, thinking you smart, but being dumb as hell. And I say that with love, because many of you think you're smart, but you're dumb as hell. You think you're clever because you know a bunch of information about a bunch of nothing, but you can't see that your soul is starving. You can't see that you're in misalignment, and your mind state and your creative state and your master state is being corroded on a daily basis. You can't see it. You can't see that you're starving to death. Learn to speak at the highest point of conclusion. When you learn to speak at the highest point of conclusion, when you talk to people, you ain't doing all that gossiping. When you talk to people, you ain't doing all that complaining. When you talk to people, you ain't doing all that bullshit. Well, first we got to get, do the step 1. We're going to do step 2, and then we're going to do step 3, and then we're going to get you're not doing all that. You're not doing all that jip jabbing. You speak in blueprints at the highest point of conclusion. Because most of the shit that people talk about, that tediously, excessively, it's just broken stuff that's unnecessary. Speak in blueprints. Speak at the highest point of conclusion. When you speak to people and you have an opportunity to communicate with another soul and express your desires and hear their desires, you would say the thing at the bullseye. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. This is what I'm doing. Are we in alignment? Okay, this is where our synergy is. This is the next course of action for us. Let's do it on this day. You move with speed. You move with speed when you're speaking at the highest point of conclusion. Because based on the quality of how you communicate and how fully formed your words are and your thoughts are, you literally match with people who do the same thing energetically. You match with people who are speaking from that same template of just saying what they want at the highest level of his most full form state. And those people have the best experiences. Those people access the best field of realities. Those people access the field of reality that is high in alignment. People who know how to speak at the highest point of conclusion. And people who speak in a very fragmented way, broken way, they don't really know what they want. They're confused. They sound smart, but they're actually kind of confused for real. They also match in the same field of reality. They also match in a field that is high in misalignment. They also match in a field that hyper focuses on image and perception of happiness and success versus actually having the experience that they want to have. And that's truly empowering the critical areas of their life and of their humanity. They're doing what they actually want to be doing as a matter of their function on a soul level. The universe is always matching you to what matches you. So what I'm giving you here, ladies and gentlemen, is tools to navigate reality, tools to navigate towards your desirable reality, increasing the quality of the field of reality that you are in. When you start talking different, you start matching with different types of people. When you say things at the highest level, you start matching with those types of people. And if it requires a financial thing, even your clientele, they pay more. They pay more for the result, for the experience, for the exact experience that's in alignment of what they want. Glory. It's all about you. It's about how you communicate, how you form your thoughts. You doing the work of getting to the bottom of what you genuinely want at the core level, and how you can use your energy to achieve that instead of being in the jungle all day fighting with your spear, hunting food down when you don't have to do that shit. You can literally exit out of that field of reality and go to a field of reality where that has already been mastered. You don't need a spear. There's a buffet. You can order off the menu. We've already mastered that. Now you can focus on other things. You understand what I'm saying? Other areas of your humanity that requires development, that requires feeding. Speak at the highest point of conclusion. Because no matter what level you're on, you know how to speak at the highest point of conclusion if you practice and you really think about what you want. Your mind knows what you want on every level. I don't care if we even talk about dating. Some of you want to date someone, you want a situation with someone, say it. Be awkward with it. Speak what you want so good, you awkward with it, and you're willing to be rejected. You're willing to be, oh, you don't want that? Okay, cool, great. You don't want what I want? I'm not going to waste 4 years of my life with you. I'm not going to waste 6 months of my time trying to pursue something when we're not in alignment for that. Speak at the highest point of conclusion. Say what you want, state what you want at face value, head on. And the more you operate in that vibration, it affects every area of your life. It affects where you live. It affects the quality of food you have access to. It affects the quality of people who are attracted to you and who you are naturally matched to and with in your field of reality. It has that type of effect on it. Speaking at the highest point of conclusion. Consolidating all your jumbled up thoughts to what you actually want, to what it actually is, to the direction that you actually desire to go in. Can a brother get an amen? Speak at the highest point of conclusion. What is the conclusion of what you want? Think about that part and don't spend your life running in circles, chasing your tail, being a hamster on the wheel. Stop falling for those types of traps, trying to impress people who are also in that field of reality because they're retarded just like you. And I say that with love. They're confused just like you. You're trying to impress people who are equal in confusion and retardation. Calm your spirit down. Get to that executive function. Get to your command center and summon the desired reality. The greatest gift that you can give yourself in this lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, is to actually live your desired reality, your highest desired reality, to actually be a character in your own movie where you're living your desired reality at the highest level. Because you know how to speak, you know how to summon, you know how to get to the point, you know how to say the thing, and you're not falling into traps where you feel like you have to do these tedious things to get to the next level. No, that's just what you summon. That's what you ask for the spear. You asked for that. And the universe gave you what you asked for. Because that's the template in your mind. Ask spirit for a more evolved template of thought so you can think better. Glory. So you can move better. Stop wasting so much time in a fragmented state, speaking fragmented words, and get to the point of saying what you want. Unpack what you want, because sometimes what you think you want, you don't really want that. You want something else. And there's a field of reality which you can easily have access, easily, to what you want if you take just 3 steps instead of taking 1,000 steps pursuing something you don't even really want like that. You just think you want it. I can't tell you how many times people have spent decades pursuing something, and when they got it, they realized that, man, this is not even what I want. What I actually wanted was this other thing, and I just thought I had to get this first in order to get this other thing. So unpack that. Speak at the highest point of conclusion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 30 minutes. This has been Eli Markus. I hope this broadcast has added value. You know, it's all about a method of mindset mastery. That's what all of my teachings are about at its core. Mindset mastery, to help people evolve their mindset and to become a master of their mind, and using that to summon the desired reality that they want for themselves at a quicker rate, at a faster rate, with speed. So you're not wasting so much time in confusion, in clutter, in scattered mindedness. I hope that you have enjoyed this broadcast. I certainly have enjoyed teaching it. You're more than welcome to visit thronemastermindsessions.com to watch more Throne Mastermind sessions. And that will be the conclusion of this broadcast. I look forward to speaking to you again.
This Throne Mastermind session has concluded. Visit thronemastermindsessions.com to inquire about membership and to gain access to more Throne Mastermind sessions. All members may now exit the private session.